Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome to Friday Night WrestleCast. This is for the horror show at Extreme Rules. I am your host, Adam Vale, and I'm joined by the usual cast, Richard Bailey Jr. What's up, Rich?
What's up, listeners and viewers?
Ricardo Negron.
How's it going, everybody?
I know, he just threw him off. All right, there we go. And Sister Dana Abercrombie.
Hey, you didn't drop it.
See, I did that on purpose. See, I'm telling you, do this on
Yay.
purpose. There you go. So, for all you new listeners out there in the world of Spotify, because now we are on Spotify, just so you know, this podcast covers pay-per-view events. That's it. We do have 3 news pieces, but that's all we focus on. It's mainly the pay-per-views. So if you didn't watch throughout the week or the month and you don't know the feuds going on, but you're like, I sort of want to watch, but I'm not sure what's going on, then click that follow button and we'll keep you up to date because that's what we cover. And that's in the subject. Every pay-per-view that we're covering, you'll see it. That's the name of it. We don't go through episode numbers. We go based off of the event names. So there you go, people. And thanks for following. Thanks for everyone. This has been great. I'm glad to see things are going in the right direction. We've been doing this for over 3 years now. That is nuts. You know. So there. Dana, let's start this off. Just like I had mentioned, 3 pieces of news. She's got a good one for the first. So here we go.
Well, it seems that former GCW World Champion AJ Gray has a problem with AEW's diversity, or at least lack of diversity. And he is out on social media basically saying that AEW is not really adding a lot of its African-American wrestlers to its ranks. On the Wrestling Inc. Daily Podcast, Gray, he blasted the promotion for promising to make a difference while noting that they only have singles wrestlers who are black in their male division. He did recognize that in comparison, their female division is a bit more diverse. He stated that it's Scorpio Sky and the African Americans they did use, they get about 2 minutes and 50 seconds on AEW Dark. They get beat up really fast and that's it. That's all you think about talent. Come on now. Give them a legitimate chance. You gave Alan Angels a legitimate chance against Kenny Omega and you signed him. What's stopping you from doing the same with Shug D or someone else? Shug D, for those who don't know, has been with AEW for several months now and is even part of several storylines. However, he is not under contract. When asked how he would compare WWE with AEW in terms of diversity, he said that WWE is a bit better. Despite their lackluster record on racial diversity, MVP Bobby Lashley and Mark Henry, he said that it is top quality names and that they're really given a chance to succeed.
I don't know. I don't agree with it. I don't agree. I get it. He's there, so he sees a lot more, obviously, than what I see, or any of us. But I have to give them the benefit of the doubt just because it is a new company. They are still trying to get established. And my gripe, and I've brought this up before, is that they're using too many of the big names from WWE and putting these wrestlers in prominent positions within this company. I get it. You're going to sign some names. That's a draw. Fine. But don't put them all at the top. I mean, damn, Dean Ambrose still undefeated for this entire run. It's a little bit too much. And then, of course, with Jake Hager and all the other ones that come in and they get these prominent roles, they should be pushing a lot of the younger talent, which they do have plenty of with Darby Allin and some of the others. But yeah, when it comes to his complaint, I don't know. I don't see it. Rich, you guys see anything with this?
I mean, I definitely would I would agree that it's still relatively early company. I personally, I don't really know who they could sign if they were to go after more people, because it feels like WWE has a ton of people of color in their company. So I don't really know who else they can get as an up-and-coming prospect to really utilize on their show. But I do agree
Leo Rush.
Well, yeah. Is he still wrestling, or is he
I don't know.
officially done with
He's doing
wrestling
one
and making
more
music?
event. I think he's doing one more event, and then he said he was going to announce it. But Jay Lethal is one from Ring of Honor. I always felt he needed to move on. Now I know they signed him to some big money deal. There's very few wrestlers, the Briscoes or another team, very few wrestlers that get signed to big money deals at Ring of Honor. But man, Jay Lethal is an amazing talent. He would be great anywhere else. So I'm just surprised he's still there. But all right, keep going.
Well, yeah. So what you just told me, there are some people that they could consider. So hopefully they do. But I think the problem is two things. First, find and establish the people you want to sign that have prominence, whether it's a well-known wrestler or not. But then you also have to buy into that person and build upon that person. And I have not seen them do that with some of the people that they have signed, aka Lance Archer, which I've already complained on this show before. I'm not happy. Yeah, I'm not happy with how they did him. So if they bring someone like Jay over to the company, I would hope that you would do something with him, allow him to get some wins, or don't have him job into Kenny Omega and everybody else. But that's the problem they have to figure out. But they are definitely aware of that, because one of the main criticisms that they had in the beginning was women's division is not good. The women's division is improving though over there, so they obviously are listening to feedback. So hopefully we'll see where they're at maybe a year from now or so.
No, it's not.
Oh, it isn't?
Are we watching the same program? Because no, it's not. No, it's not.
It's going to take a lot of time and chemistry. That's the thing with NXT.
I thought
the issues, that's the pluses that they have with the Performance Center. These people, it feels like a family. They spent a lot of time at that center, and they're working their spots. They're building their chemistry. It just doesn't look like that's happening at AEW. Because a lot of with the issues that we're seeing, it's not so much that these female wrestlers can't work. They can work. They're selling bumps. They're doing what they need to do. It's just that chemistry. They're just missing a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, and it looks sloppy. It looks sloppy, but we know that the performers aren't sloppy. It's just that chemistry is sloppy.
I thought y'all were a fan of Britt Baker and
Yes.
Big Swole and
Yes.
There's
all
some
the rest.
there's some that shine, but when they mesh with others, there's definitely an issue.
There are a lot that literally I'm screaming at the TV. There's a lot of AEW dark talent that's like, no offense, but why are you here?
Whoa!
Damn.
I know that. And there is one talent that either people love and either people can't stand, and I'm in the part that I cannot stand. I feel that a lot of the women just, you know what it is? They need just more training, like you said. They need more training, more practicing. They need to get the timing right, and others need to just find a new profession.
Who's training? That's the thing. Like at the Performance Center, we know a lot of the trainers that are mentioned, but who's training this group of women in the back?
They're training themselves.
They're training themselves. You know what I mean? It's like we don't see like we don't hear, like, for example, like Finley. You know, he was one of the ones that would train a lot of the female wrestlers and set up their matches and build their matches over in WWE. Awesome comp. But is she back? Because I know she was out doing, films, TV shows, other things. Is she there? Is that her role?
She works also as a coach for the female roster.
Okay, all right. Well, at least they have somebody with experience giving some guidance. Because that's the thing. They're not all noobs in the business. A lot of them have been around for a while, but it's just building that chemistry. It's just some of these matches feel like they just, all right, you two go out there and just make it happen. And nothing was planned. And yeah, you don't want everything planned out like a Hogan Macho Man match, but you want something where it's like, all right, you're building toward a feud or something I want to see a repeat of. I don't want to just see these two people collide, bump in, miss some spots, forget timing, give that awkward stare at each other like, are you going, or who's going over the top, me or you? What's happening? It was too many of those awkward moments.
Well, QT Marshall is one of the trainers.
Okay, QT Marshall. All right. Okay, well, they just got to put some more time into this. Watch the tapes, as they say. Watch the tapes.
Watch the tapes, practice.
There you go.
Another profession.
Boom. What's number 2? What's number 2?
Nombre dos. A's. Sorry. It seems that SummerSlam is just a hot mess. And what was originally planned is no longer planned. Yes, because of the pandemic, but also because there is a superstar who said, heck no, I won't go. And that is Brock Lesnar. He is out. He is gone. And to the point where they don't even know when he will return. They stated, according to WrestleVotes and to other websites, that basically the plans for SummerSlam are completely torn up, and they are starting anew. For a variety of reasons, including Edge's unexpected tricep injury that took him out earlier in action this year because they wanted to film the match 15,000 different times, and he tore the tricep during the fourth run through. Basically, he's out. He's going to be out for a while now. Also, WWE has been trying to save Brock Lesnar's return to the company for when live crowds can be part of the show again. Remember, before, Vince was very determined that they was going to have SummerSlam was going to be a live event, to the point where they had the people still building the set for SummerSlam. And obviously that is not going to happen, and he finally threw in the towel and was like, okay, fine, we won't have it live after all. Brock Lesnar is not coming back. They don't even think he'll come back until the rest of the year. But he is not scheduled at all for SummerSlam. And it was the entire purpose of putting Drew McIntyre over so strongly at WrestleMania 36 is because they really wanted that match between McIntyre and Brock. And now they don't know what to do because he's not coming back. So everything is going to be up in the air. Paul Heyman, who was the manager for Brock, he has not been in TV since he was let go from his executive director position. The reported plan going forward was to have Randy Orton challenge Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. There's also been rumors that Matt Riddle is going to wrestle AJ Styles. The Fiend is going to wrestle Braun Strowman again. Andrade and Angel Garza was going to team with the Street Profits. None of these matches have been confirmed. They're just kind of, we'll see what's going to happen when they play out. SummerSlam is scheduled still for August 23rd, and it's going to just be at the Performance Center.
Well, with this whole thing, who's bothered by the fact that Brock's not going to be around? I don't think anyone really cares.
No one.
Exactly. Wasn't that the whole issue, that when he was champ, it was like he was never around and he had the belt? Well, now those people got their prayers answered. He's gone and the belt is still in the house. There you go. So I don't see an issue with it. I agree. Bring him back for big money events because you're paying top dollar for him. And right now you can't do it. Right now, you just can't do it. So it makes perfect sense. Also, we don't want him back now because you know what it's going to be about. It's him squashing everybody for going toward the title again. We're done with that. We're done with that. There's no need for it right now. Bring him back later on when things have died down within the stories of what's currently going on. Because right now, Drew, he has other things going on. He's got the Dolph Ziggler. I hope this isn't a one-off. I know right now some people are smirking. Oh, you just said Dolph Ziggler. Come on. You know what? He's been with the company a long time. The guy can work on the mic. He's a utility player for them. This is why they put him in these spots. And it's about time that he just gets a mainstay. I hope after this match that he continues on as a main eventer. And he doesn't slip back down because he's pretty much the only talent that they have that just out of nowhere slips from the top to the mid constantly. Like, oh, you want a title shot? We're going to give you a title shot over in Saudi Arabia. Here we go. Shit, how did he even earn that? You know what I mean? It don't matter. It's because he does it. He knows how to build up a match. He'll do a great job in the match. And then once he's done, they're like, all right, you go back down there with everybody else. We'll call you out when we need you. And now they need him. They call him up. But with what's going on in the current situations, and when you have Brock obviously not coming back, and they're talking about how they need established talent, hell, they're scrambling and bringing the Big Show back. I don't think that's going to help, but Dolph Ziggler can definitely help.
I would like to respond to that, but I'm going to wait till we get to the predictions because I have something to say about that particular.
All right. Ricky, you have anything to say about this, or are you good?
I'll wait till the predictions.
All right, there we go. All right, and the last news piece, Dana, what is it? Let's go.
It is MVP. He wants to create a stable within the WWE, and he gave an interview with Alex McCarthy of Talk Sports, and he feels that he wants to start this stable with your favorite wrestler, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Almighty Lashley.
Yeah, that's
Damn
already
right.
started.
See, that's another big guy that they have. He's awesome. Bobby Lashley is awesome. Who needs Brock? We got Bobby.
Uh-oh.
Alopecia and all. Yeah, Bobby.
He says that
He's
it's
the man.
something.
Don't
that
laugh. Stop hating on him. Stop hating.
I'm not hating. I
I
can't.
feel it. I feel it through the mic. I feel like this hot air just rushing. Please stop.
I can't hate on someone who I don't even acknowledge.
Holy shit. Don't worry. We'll edit that out in post. Keep going.
He's saying that it is something that he's been discussing, and he is really planning on trying to create this stable. He said there is a method to his madness. He doesn't really want to reveal what that method is, and he thinks that everyone will be very pleasantly surprised, and he is willing and really happy to work with the wrestlers of which he is choosing. He also stated that he's throwing around names. He wants to be a part of his stable. We have Aleister Black, the Street Profits, and the Viking Raiders.
No.
He had a stable with Bobby Lashley, similar to this, over Impact. So he's just basically trying to bring that back. All right, what's going on?
The thing is, MVP is a heel now. The Street Profits are faces. Aleister Black. Yeah, well. First and foremost, let's.
And I'll tell you why I debate that. I'll tell you why, because of the way they've been booking the War Raiders, because they're making them very comical, very likable.
Well, hey, they made both of those teams a joke, but I will say this:
that's true.
Give a shout out to Mr. Angelo Dawkins, who is now a new father. This is why the Street Profits haven't been featured as much in the last.
Friend of the show. Just
oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, well, special shout out. You learn something new every day. But I don't know about that. I mean, the stable, to me, if you've been watching Raw, you can see that they're teasing a heel turn for Cedric Alexander, and MVP is the one that started that. So I definitely could see Cedric, if he does turn heel, he can join that stable. Shelton Benjamin, someone else who they have and they haven't really done nothing with, but he's on Raw. That's another person they can put in that stable. But I can't see the people who are faces now being a part of that stable unless they are going to turn those people heel. Aleister Black, no disrespect. I want to see them actually do something with this guy on a singles run. I'm not talking. Don't put him in no tag team.
They dropped the ball when he moved up. They had everything going great over in NXT, and once he brought him up, like you said, they don't know what they're doing with him.
That's the guy that should have won Money in the Bank, because they could do a lot with this guy, and I would imagine that he would be an excellent opponent for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah.
If they actually do something with that, but they haven't done nothing with him yet. But I definitely don't want to see him in that stable. That's what I would say. But go ahead, continue, Dana. Continue.
Yes. So he was saying that he was able to work a couple years ago with the Viking Raiders, and he really loved their chemistry together and how everybody worked very well with each other. He also got a lot of time to spend backstage with the Street Profits. So he just feels that these are the people that gel great together, and he would like to continue to work with them. So
MVP is such a talent. He's such a good time. Yeah.
Yes, MVP, I will say, he is very good on the mic. He's very good at managing. He was a producer before. He is an okay wrestler, even for his age now. He's still good.
Damn,
Stop!
go with the shade.
No. I agree.
Y'all are just shady.
The man, I'm just so glad that things are working out for him. If anyone saw the Wrestler series that Vice put together, and they followed him and showed all the things that he was doing with his life, it's just great. I'm just glad this is working out because he has so much to give and he can offer so much. And the fact that WWE, from what we've heard originally when it was scheduled, it was supposed to be a one-off. Remember? It was only supposed to be, you pop in, you do this. And then they're like, we could use it for a few more, and then you're done. And now look at this. He really ingrained himself. And who knows why that is? I'm thinking it has to do with a lot of what's currently going on. Because he is someone that lives in that Florida area. And so it's like, hey, I can be here when you need me. While a lot of the people have to, they don't live in the area. They want to be with their families because of what's going on. And so they're not around. It's like, hey, I'm here. I can do this. And he's picked up that ball, and he's living up to his moniker that he is the MVP right now. He is jumping into all these different departments, and he's owning it. He's doing it. He's playing the manager role. He's playing a heel wrestler. He's working on the mic and starting feuds. And now, look, he's trying to put together a stable. He's making a lot of moves. He's a go-getter. And I know a lot of people, when they start thinking back, it was like, oh, well, what if you don't know? He left. He was not fired. He left. He got bored and said, you know what? I want to go see the world. I made it here. I want to see if I can make it somewhere else. And he did. He made it somewhere else over in TNA for a long time. And then he went and started doing other shows. But I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad he's back and in a big way and not in the way that a lot of people thought, which was, he's just going to come back to get younger talent over. No, he's playing a key role, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm glad.
There's a tear in my eye. I'm so excited.
There you go. I hope you connect. Yeah. Thank you. Give me 2 upvotes. Thanks. All right. So is everybody cool? We're ready? Are you ready for this? This is it. This is what we've been waiting for all year. This is the pay-per-view that's going to change our lives. It's the horror show at Extreme Rules. Blood, fire, barbed wire, glass, you name it. It's not going to be here. So this is what we have. 7 matches. We thought it was going to be 8. Sounds like one of them got scrapped, meaning Sheamus, Jeff Hardy. That's not on this card. That's going to be on Friday Night SmackDown, right? Wow. I think that's pretty much been confirmed out there. Not on this card. It's only 7 matches, which is fine. 7 matches still. 7 matches. There's a lot going on. So we would start with match number 7. We have the New Day versus Cesaro and Shinsuke, and this is for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And as we learned today on Friday Night SmackDown, it's a tables match. So who wants to go first? Dana, go first, because I know these are your 2 favorite teams. So
you're funny. Actually, I do like them together, and separate. I think they work wonderful. I think they all deserve their singles career. I wish they would respect Shinsuke and Cesaro like they did in the past, but it is what it is. I am going to have to go with, I feel that this is going to be it's going to be a good match. It's not going to suck. I think they have really great chemistry. They do the flippity floppities. It's going to be great. So I have to go with Shinsuke and Cesaro, though.
All right. I can see that. It's a bunch. You touched on it a little bit. These teams, everyone needs to be solo, especially Cesaro. He never gets a shot solo. It's like they're always tagging him with somebody. It sucks. All right, Ricky, what do you got for this?
Yeah, I agree with you both. I think it's a shame that Cesaro's being relegated to tag team specialist when he's so much more than that. And Shinsuke Nakamura as well. And the guy is a freaking legend in Japan. Coming in and was one of the biggest signings ever, and now he's being relegated to, he was a lackey to Sami Zayn, and so, I mean, I'm hoping that Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura will win just so they have something, some kind of reward for all this, but I think that we're just going to get the same old with New Day, and so I'm going to say New Day retains.
All right, Rich?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Ricky. I think the New Day will retain. I'm very disappointed that they haven't done anything with the New Day in terms of giving Big E's a singles push, even though AJ Styles teased that he would like to give Big E a title match in the future. He could potentially get a title match in the future. Last month before he had his match with Matt Riddle, he was talking about all the people he would like to give an opportunity to. But yeah, I feel like Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro deserve a hell of a lot better than what they are in. But at least from Shinsuke Nakamura's standpoint, he is just relaxed now. He's just collecting a paycheck. I don't really think he cares about being a world champion or anything. So, we'll say what?
because it's not going to ever happen.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It never will happen, which is unfortunate. And Cesaro, this is a guy that has done so. He is someone who was overdue for something great, but Vince never believes in him fully enough to give him an opportunity to actually run with the title. So, unfortunately, I don't want them to win, even though it would be good to see them getting that. I think the tag titles, that's not really. I think Shinsuke and Cesaro are capable of a better title than that, and even New Day to an extent. But again, I'm tired of New Day. I wish they would break up, but they're going to most likely retain the titles in this match.
Yeah, I agree. They need to break up, or if not break up, just get out of the title picture. This is too long.
Yeah.
What was this? This is like number 16 or something for them. Some ridiculous amount, and it's at the point where it's comical. It's like, yeah, all right. So every time they go for the title, they win it, and it's no.
And
It's boring.
Yeah.
The one thing
It's my boring.
the one thing I will say is that when they first had they had their little run with these titles, and they had the little back and forth with the Usos, they put on great matches together. But nobody wants to see these same teams as champions years later. I mean, there are other people that they could have had those belts.
It's hard to just understand the logic behind it when you think about all the tag teams that we've seen come and go in WWE. Mm-hmm. It's like, for example, the Good Brothers and all the other ones that we've seen. Revival. There were other teams that they could have just gave the ball to for at least a longer run. But no, it just always goes back to the New Day. And the only thing I could think of is, gotta quote Triple H, is what's best for business. It's got to be the merch sales. The merch sales must be through the roof with the kids and the younger people out there. That they're like, you know what? It's what's best for business. Put the title on them. That way they get all the interviews and stuff. Because all these outlets, especially the real casual media outlets, they just want to get some different demos into their pieces. They'll say, hey, can you send over a champion? They won't even say, like, oh, you're up and coming. They want a champion because it just sounds better and looks better. And, of course, New Day, they bring in that young demo.
They have no demo.
I would disagree. There you go. No,
there's nothing to disagree. Remember what happened on Wednesday. They have no demo.
They're not on Wednesdays.
Oh, well, NXT, and then
No. You can't just throw everything in a bucket like that. They are not on that show. When we're talking about them as a tag team and the sales numbers that they pull. They pull their own numbers.
They're not
do you remember? Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but you guys should remember this. Remember, it was like 2 years ago. Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens having a match, and somebody recorded the audio. Somebody was like sending some stuff. He had Kevin Owens had Roman Reigns in a headlock on the ground, and somebody was calling him a fat bastard, saying some offensive stuff. And then he screamed out, he says, you know what? I made, $30,000 in royalties last year. What did you make? And you could see that Roman Reigns starts laughing while he's in his headlock. Because they make so much in royalty. And I have a feeling that's a big part of it. They sell a lot of merch, and it's great. That was the whole reason why John Cena never turned heel. Yeah, he never really wanted to, but there's no need. He made a lot of money. Till this day, he makes a lot of money. His toys, since he stopped wrestling, is fucking through the roof on eBay and shit because there's not much of it out there, and it's a collector's item already.
No. Here's why I say no. Because New Day is to the point where they are so over, they don't need belts. John Cena is so over, he doesn't need a belt.
I just told you why, though. It's for the outlets. It's for them to go. You could say no. You could say no.
To the point where they don't need that outlet. WWE is so darn established. They don't need to start feeding random outlets.
All right. So we're going to go. So for people, again, new listeners, right? We all have roles over at the Koalition.com. We have the chief editor here, Richard Baylor Jr. Richard Baylor Jr. If we find out, WWE says, hey, listen, we can send over anybody in the tag team division, right, over to you for an interview, a piece, all kinds of stuff. Would you pass on the champion, regardless of who it is? If they use, hey, can I get the champ to come? Yes, you can get champ. Would you accept that offer over another tag team?
You said WWE?
Yep. If they said their champs are open to you too, Usually it's not the way. They only put the champs for the big outlets. But they say, you know what, fuck it. Whoever you want. You want a champion? We will send you a champion. Would you say, no, I want someone else? Or would you take that champion?
To be quite honest, if I got a call from WWE about that, I would laugh at whoever it was that told me that, because WWE does not value any tag team they have, whether it's on Raw, SmackDown. They just don't give a damn about the tag team division.
No, but what I'm saying is because a lot of these outlets will take the champion. It's no different in any other sport, boxing, MMA. So if they get that opportunity, say, hey, can we get someone to cover for your new pay-per-view, your next pay-per-view event, whatever, and if that outlet says, hey, you can talk to our champ, or you can talk to someone else. Wait, I could talk to the champ because that stands out better for the headline, for the interview. It's like, hey, guess what? We have the middleweight champion, a heavyweight champion.
So, I'll tell you what. If it was any champ, I'm pretty sure people would choose Oscar or Drew McIntyre over the New Day as the tag champs. I'm 100% certain of that, because now you're talking about other people that you can choose. Even Keith Lee. I would interview him in a heartbeat instead of the New Day.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, I mean, this was the whole argument that we had for the longest time regarding Roman Reigns. Why was he in his spot? And it was because of the merch sales. And all the other wrestlers confirmed it. They were like, his numbers are ridiculous. He's making the dough. He's bringing in money. Every time he goes out there, you hear the boos, but look at the kids' faces. They light up like Christmas trees. They fucking love him. And that's the Cena effect. Cena had the same connect. And that's why when they're like, oh, why do they keep giving him the ball? Why do they keep focusing on Roman Reigns? Because he represents the youth. And that's how Vince McMahon sees things. He sees the only way his company can grow is from the ground up. And their ground level is those little kids looking over the guardrail. He wants to get into their brain, just like how it got in our brain with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Piper, and how we still put them in this high regard. There was wrestlers before that, but it doesn't matter. Those are the ones that were thrown in our faces all the time. So we got, who knows? I don't know if an older audience thought that shit was tacky. It was like, oh, fucking look at this blonde head motherfucker coming. I don't know. You know what I mean? But for us, that shit was crazy. Your vitamins, say your prayers, and work out. Maybe some other people get throwing them the middle finger, but we're glued to TV. We're like, shit, I'm doing my crunches right now. I got my Flintstone vitamins next to me. I'm living the dream. Thank you, Hoagie. This is it. So this is what I'm saying. So that's why when I'm saying that when they keep putting the belt on Kofi or Big E, because sometimes they rotated around when they had Xavier, when they put it on a New Day, it's because it's got to be a business reason. They're making money. It's not they're not a holding team. We've seen these holding ones where they just they pass it on. We just saw that with Goldberg with the whole thing. No, they're not a transitional team. They bring in something, and I think that's it. They bring in the money. They bring in the attention. That gold makes them shine. It puts a spotlight. That was the whole point of a belt. Put a spotlight. Yes, you're supposed to put it on an up-and-coming team. But, man, if they're pulling in big money... Remember, they had the Bootios. Shit, they had a fucking cereal. A cereal. And I think you can still go buy Bootios. Mm-hmm. That is crazy. So they're making money. So if it just makes sense if they say, hey, you can go and interview anybody on this card. Yeah, there's plenty of other ones and there's other champions. But if there's only one champion that's on the card, and if it's the New Day, a lot of outlets will just say, you know what, let me bring that because that'll just stand out and pop more when I post it. And that'll look good with the editor, but not my editor, Richard Bailey Jr., but for other editors, that'll look fucking amazing. When we say, I got the New Day champ, what should I do? And you say, you know what you should do? Call them back and cancel. I need you to get Cesaro and Shinsuke. And I'm like, that would be great, but what about what's best for business? I mean, you're going to be like, you know what's best for business? You to listen to fucking me or else you're fired. And I'm like, shit, this is how it's going to go? You're going to fire me again? Or we're going to have to call HR again? And you're going to be like, you know what? Let's talk about this later. Don't worry, I'm editing all this out in post. All right. So, Ricky, what do you...
I just want to add something about New Day, that it's kind of a testament to their staying power, that they've been together for half a decade at this point.
And from a failing idea, right? Come on. When we all heard the New Day and they had the choir and shit, I was like, this is not going to work.
Yeah, and they were booed at the beginning because they were seen as too tacky, too cheesy and everything. And it was when they turned heel as a response to the fan reaction that they really got over. And they've been together, and they've stuck together since then. And the thing is, it hurts me sometimes to suggest breaking them up because I remember how little over they were prior to them getting together. They were all three of them were just kind of
They were
lost.
just floaters. Things were never working.
Yes.
Big E was Dolph Ziggler's bouncer, where he was sort of playing that Diesel role to Shawn Michaels. There was a lot of that going on.
Kofi was Jamaican.
Yeah,
Kofi was he was Jamaican.
He was decidedly mid card, and
Xavier
then
Woods danced.
didn't have anything.
He danced with the afro. That was it. He came out like James Brown. Remember? He would do the whole spinning and the split and everything up on the ring.
Yeah, with Brodus Clay and the Funkadactyls.
Yep.
They had that whole thing. Yeah, and so it was a great thing that they actually managed to find success. And they're good. They're gonna be viewed very positively.
Oh yeah, when it's all said and done.
It's all said and done, but it's just that right now they're kind of stale.
Yeah,
I think that's
and to agree with one thing with you, Danny. Yeah, you're right. They're super over, and they need to venture out. They can split up, venture out, try all kinds of new things, and if it don't work out, they can get back together. We saw that happen with the Dudley Boys when Devon decided he wanted to be Reverend. Remember that? Reverend Devon. Testify. That failed. He joined back with Bubba, and everything was cool. No one thought of second guess of anything. They were like, we'll accept it. This is what we want. This is what we like. A lot of people forget Hulk Hogan turned into like an ex-con for a little bit in WCW. Do you remember that?
No.
Where he had a jumpsuit, and he was losing all his matches. It was very short-lived. But yeah, look that shit up. It was weird. Very weird. They were trying to make him an underdog. It was very weird. It was in WCW. All right, so I'll give my predictions. Cesaro and Shinsuke. It's just time. I'm just giving it because I'm ready for them to move on with this. They had sort of, it's like Cesaro just he's always in a tag team. We talked about it. He's always a fucking tag team. Fine, do something with him and Shinsuke. Shinsuke is a quality talent as a solo. Both of them as solo, but they're not getting that time. So just give them the belt. Take it off of New Day. New Day don't need it right now. They don't.
They definitely don't need it.
There you go. All right. So match number 6, we got Apollo Crews versus our man that we just talked about earlier, MVP, and this is for the United States Champion. And this is a new belt, right? This is the one that he showed off. Right? This is not the I think
the new one,
the new design one. Man, I'll go first on this one just to get this out of the way, because this one, I don't see it. We just talked about everything that MVP is doing, but in front of the camera and behind the camera. He's not winning this. He's not winning this belt at all. He did his job. His job was to put a spotlight on Apollo Crews, put a spotlight on this new belt, give it some cred in that regard. And that's it. And put on a great match with Apollo Crews. I think this is going to be a fun match. It's going to be a great match. I predict Bobby Lashley and maybe some others are going to try to interfere. Apollo Crews is going to overcome the odds, and he's going to retain. In a weird way, retain, because he's going to get this new belt. I don't know what happened to his old belt. I don't know how they're going to explain that. Have they explained that? Did he lose it?
Well, no, because he hasn't been there. He hasn't been on
That's what
TV.
I'm saying. So I don't understand where this whole thing when MVP was like, you know what, I'm just going to show off his own belt. And then I think I'm just going to call myself the champ. Remember, he was walking around the ring and walking in the back. I'm like, what? So when Apollo Crews shows up and he has that belt, is he going to have 2 belts? Or he's just going to say, I'm going to take the new belt, and he's going to hand the old one, or he's going to tell the old one, tell the ring announcer or whoever it is over there on the side just to keep the old one. It's like, I'll just keep the new one. I don't know. Whatever. It's weird.
He can't have 2 belts.
No. Well, obviously he can't have 2 belts for the same title, 2 United States belts. That didn't work. But
no, I think he'll just trade it in.
Yeah, I guess.
It would make sense that way.
What if he like? No, it does, because what if he didn't like MVP's belt? What if he said, I want to keep mine? I like the flag on it.
Well, to be quite honest with you, Adam, I'm pretty sure the writers didn't give a damn and didn't think about any of this stuff, because
they probably did.
From a logical standpoint, this is the belt that you should have introduced when he won the belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the week after, but instead you have the opponent introducing the belt, which makes
that belt had been finished since January, I believe, or November of last year, something like that.
So there you go. That probably is as a result of a Vince script rewrite at the last minute. Let's throw this in there so that people see that we're introducing a new belt. Well, what about Apollo Crews, Vince? Yeah. Well, he's not here. Well, damn it, we're still going to introduce it tonight.
Going to do it. All right. Well, I give my pick. It's Apollo Crews, and since you were just talking about it, who do you think is going to win this one?
Yeah, Apollo Crews is going to win. I have to say though, I am very disappointed with what they have done with Bobby Lashley, because it looks to me like eventually it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for that belt. That is what I think the path they're going towards, because he's still there. I mean, we already know, as you said, MVP has done great things. He doesn't need to have a belt. He doesn't need to be wrestling. But obviously, if he's there to build the stable, there's no way that you're going to have somebody like Bobby Lashley standing right next to MVP. Bobby Lashley obviously can still wrestle, can still go. Mm-hmm. You're not going to put him in this in some way, even if it's to get a title shot. I think that's a little ridiculous to think that won't happen. So I'm going to say Apollo Crews will retain, and I will not be surprised if he actually has a match with Bobby Lashley with that title on the line in the future.
Oh, man. Oh, Dana, you got some words?
Oh my God, I got size.
All right. Let's
pure size, asthmatic size. First of all, Apollo Crews bores me. I'm like, he puts me to sleep. He is the John Legend of wrestling. Oh, pretty, but he's sleepy. So in regards to this, I would love for MVP to win. He has personality. He has the stamina. He can still wrestle. He can put on a great show just in general. He may not move and groove like he did 15 years ago, but he's not aching and baking. So I want him to win. And again, Apollo Crews, I know that they're trying to build something with him. With Bobby Lashley, oh my God, that will be the most boringest match ever.
Oh no!
First of all, oh my God!
I don't think it. No, I don't see how you think that makes sense, because we have Bobby Lashley. It just doesn't make sense to have MVP win the belt and then have Bobby Lashley just stand by watching. It's like, wow, this is my manager now in a way, and now he's a champion. I'm just here.
Yeah, I think that this would be a great in the sense of this is how you build a feud. You're supposed to be building me up, and now you're taking the belts.
But he's part of their stable. He wants him in the stable.
And he may want, but we don't need Bobby Lashley in the stable. I want money. And clearly my life dictates that I don't need the money. So, no.
Can I just make one quick comment?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with MVP winning. I just don't like the fact that you had him introduce the new belt. It just doesn't make sense. Where he clearly is not the champion.
No, that's what a lot of people. No one understood that. Yeah. No one understood it.
Well, I just still like him because he has personality.
Okay.
And he's not going to put me to sleep.
Well, he definitely has. He definitely has more personality than Apollo Crews. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's the MVP. That's where the MVP. Yeah. He knew he can do it. That's always been his gimmick. That confidence, that charisma. All right.
The empty arena has more personality, but
damn. All right, you got a lot of shade there. All right. So, Ricardo, what you got for this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Apollo Crews, and I'm gonna go. I kind of echo what Richard said, that it seems that this is really just a match that's being done to bridge the eventual match against Bobby Lashley. Like MVP's role, as you mentioned earlier, was really to kind of put the belt over, even with Apollo not being there for whatever reason. And it's clear that MVP's role here is to be the manager for Bobby Lashley. So this is going to be something where, maybe MVP is going to fall short, but then MVP is going to coach up Bobby Lashley to win it off of Apollo Crews. If you remember, when MVP had been recruiting Bobby and Bobby Lashley and all that stuff, he said, I'm going to make you a champion. You haven't been a champion for a long time. And granted, he was going after the WWE belt, which is obviously much more important, and that fell short. But much like another champion in another company who fell short of the top belt, you still have a secondary belt to fall back on. That's what's going to happen with MVP coaching Bobby Lashley, is that MVP is going to lose this to Apollo Crews, but it's going to lead to Bobby Lashley taking that United States belt off of Apollo
he's going to interfere something, and that's going to be the next matchup, and it's going to go down that road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let me just say this last thing. I have to say I'm very disappointed that Bobby Lashley didn't have a longer feud with Drew McIntyre, because this is a guy that's a credible opponent for Drew McIntyre. It could have lasted more than one match. So I'm disappointed that they didn't go in that direction at all.
Yeah. And I still believe this whole thing with Brock and what's going on, and they don't have anything right now planned. But I still believe the plan was for Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar to finally have that match. But that's going to be a long build-up, and there's a lot of material that they can use for packaging and stuff to build that up, especially with their MMA backgrounds. And they were going to build it up. And it just makes sense. That's money in the bank right there, because everybody wants to see it. When he joined up, he even said, he's like, oh, that's what I want to do. And apparently from his own words, he's saying, maybe it's bullshit or whatever, but he said it's in his contract that he has at least one major match with Brock Lesnar. So let's see. Let's see if that happens. It doesn't have to be a title or anything, but just a match. So
for those that didn't get when I said another champion, another company, I was referring to Brian Cage. How he fell short of going after the AEW championship from my boy John Moxley, but he still has the FTW.
That was upsetting. That goes with the pattern of what we talked about. I don't want to drift, because for those who know, we don't do the fluff. We get straight to the stuff, so that's it. Yes. But man, that shit pissed me off.
Perfect.
That shit pissed me off.
Comment on that right after the prediction.
After. There you go. All right, so match number 5. This is going to be really crazy, because I want to see how this is done. Because when I heard how you have to win this, I didn't really put it in my head. I couldn't really comprehend how this was going to end. And I'm talking about Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. Eye for an eye match. Now, I thought eye for an eye meant I'm going to puncture your eye and make you bleed, and they could easily do that with a capsule. I didn't know. No, it says you have to extract the eye out. The person who, that's what it says here. It's the person who extracts their opponent's eye out wins the match. Are you fucking kidding me? How are you going to do this? That doesn't even make sense unless you have a wrestler on the side who actually has a glass eye, and he jumps in and he says, oh, I'm helping him or whatever. You know what I mean? And do some cheesiness like that. And you pull out his eyes like, oh my God. But it's still, it's not Seth Rollins, it's not Ray. I don't understand how this is going to happen. I heard there's going to be some filming, some Hollywood production type work on this match. But man, I don't know. I won't start. So Dana, what do you think? What do you think's even going to happen in this match?
Here's what's going to happen. Very simple. They've already stated that this is going to be a CGI situation, meaning that we're not going to get the puppetry that we had when the Boneyard match with AJ Styles in the hand. We're getting movie theater quality CGI, where the loser is going to actually reach in that eyeball cavity and yank it out with the whole dangling, I don't know what you call that part that attaches to the rest of your skull. That's with your eyes.
But wait. But then how are they going to explain it? So the person for the longevity of their career is going to have to wear an eye patch?
That is the thing that no one can seem to answer. Does this mean that the person retires, or you're just permanently blind and you have to actually continue with this storyline? Or is it meant as an escapism for the wrestler to leave? For example, Rey Mysterio Jr. is wrestling without a contract. Mm-hmm. So by him getting his eye plucked out, this is an excuse for him to not wrestle in WWE anymore.
Yeah.
But what about his son? I thought the whole point of him coming back wasn't for him. He doesn't need the money. It was about helping build his son into business. And why not do that on the largest platform? Because he could have went to AEW. He could have went anywhere. He's Rey Mysterio. But he went there so he can groom his son and put him on that big stage. If he leaves, he's not leaving without his son. His son is also leaving.
I don't know the family dynamic. I don't know what's really going on. I don't know if they already hatched a deal. I don't know if it's like, we'll take your son, but you can never wrestle anyplace else.
That's a real horrible ending to a career, because he's going into the Hall of Fame. And how are they going to explain that when he shows up and he has 2 damn eyes? But like, oh, I had surgery. It's a glass eye. Wink. Yeah.
I don't know. But that is, it was one of those situations that it clearly seems that this is something Vince gets a kick out of, and there doesn't really seem to be an end point. Like, we just don't know why or even how it's going to happen. I feel that Vince will probably get bored like he does usually, and this will just be something like, hey, remember that one time WWE had a hacker and you just forgot about it, so you'll just forget that Ray or Seth doesn't have an eye anymore.
Yeah. That's exactly that sounds accurate to me.
So who do you think's going to win this one? Who's getting there?
Their eye plucked out.
Well, that's not the winner then. It's like, well, yeah. All right, so who do you think's going to lose this and lose an eye? Let's go that way.
Who's losing an eye?
Who's losing an eye?
With my eye, really feel that Ray is going to lose his eye. Right. Even though it's, like a sad point. But I do want to see his son, Dominic, who, had to wrestle for custody many years ago, have some type of interference. Yeah. I'm going to assume that it's no DQ since you're taking out people's eyeballs.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but yeah, you would assume that Dominic's going to be at ringside, Murphy's going to be at ringside.
Yes. So I would like to see Dominic be like, "No, Dad."
No, Bobby, no. And then he jumps in front. And again, how do you do it? What are you doing? Are you just using your hands? Are you doing it the old school Sabu way, and you're grabbing a fork out of your boot and you're scooping it? You know what? No.
I think it might. I mean, you can't grab. I don't think that it's. I think that they're going to try to make this. Oh, you must see event and gruesome for Vince's liking. So I see his actual hand being the eye plucker. I don't see a spoon being used or a fork or a knife.
All right. I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to think of logistics when it comes to ratings. When you do like the TV, MA, and 14, I don't know if this changes that. Is this going to be one of those things where if you have kids or younger teens or whatever, it's like, I don't think you should be watching this match.
Well, when you're on your own network, you don't have to worry about that.
You don't, right? They don't.
This is not ECW. Yeah. So there's not going to be blood and carnage. It's going to be like a very simple. I believe that. And the only thing that's going to be gruesome is we'll see like the dangling bits of the eyeball. I don't think we're going to see like blood and everything. And they're going to just, like it's going to look like a fake eyeball with dangling.
All right. I don't know. All right. So you say I'm not on it. All right. Ricardo, what do you got for this? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Dana there. I think that Rey Mysterio is going to get his eye plucked out. The way it's going to happen is that, remember, he wears a mask. So you're going to have that little fake eyeball in there dangling out it's gonna happen from an angle where you can't really see what Seth Rollins is doing. You know that he's trying to get the thing out, but it's gonna end up with this little fake eye dangling outside one of the things, and then he'll cover it quickly with his hands. Referee will go, the medical crew will go, but you'll see briefly the eye come out and I want to do a little fancy booking here. I'm going to steal Adam's thunder here. I want Dominic to be the reason why Seth Rollins wins. I want a heel turn. I want a betrayal. I thought that was coming. It was like a few Raws ago when Dominic was standing behind Ray in the ring and Seth Rollins was approaching slowly, and I was like, oh my God, it's Plan B all over again. But this time, instead of Seth doing it, he has a new disciple doing it for him. And it didn't happen. I was super disappointed. And I'm thinking maybe they're just waiting for the right time to do it. I could be wrong, but I felt like this whole thing of Ray telling Dominic, like, no, you don't have to do these things for me. I got it under control. It's going to lead to Dominic being like, you're always telling me what to do. Well, I'm going to do my own thing. That's my fantasy booking.
All right. I had my own fantasy booking after. I will say, all right, right after Rich. Rich, what do you got for this one?
First and foremost, let me just say this. I cannot resist, and pardon the corniness, but I hope that viewer discretion is advised for this particular match.
Oh, they'll probably put it in black and white. They'll probably do black and white.
They might do that. They might do that. I really, really like what Ricky just said, because I was thinking the same thing. Rey Mysterio, I believe, is going to lose, and what better way to write the character off and send him on a little break to have his son be involved in him losing the match? Because not only do you lose the eye, but now you've also lost your son. And I do think that is going to happen, because one important thing that we didn't really talk about, Austin Theory has been missing ever since those allegations came out against him. And so Seth Rollins' stable now is very small. It's just him and Buddy Murphy, because AOP is not even on TV either. So I think you need to have another member be revealed for that particular unit to keep it strong. The other point I'm going to mention is, we already know Seth Rollins is expecting, him and Becky Lynch are expecting their baby in December, so he's not taking time off yet. At the end of the year, I can see him taking time off, but not yet. So, yeah, I think if anyone's going to lose that match, it's Rey Mysterio. No doubt about that.
All right. So here goes my fantasy booking on this. So I'm going based off of the story. So we know Seth Rollins, he's the Monday Night Messiah. He's playing the cult leader role. And I'm sure if we didn't have the issues going on, he would have a full stable. Because remember, he still has the Authors of Pain. Yeah. So in my mind, when I see him on the stage and he's just standing there with Buddy Murphy, I'm still picturing everyone else around him. You got the two big tower guys, and then you also have your Theory that's there. But what I think is going to try to propel him more toward this darkness, he's going to lose the eye, and what they're going to do is he's going to have a black contact in one of his eyes, similar to the contacts that the guy from Limp Bizkit would wear, that would make his eye look completely black. Do you remember that? Yeah. And that remember, his name was it was Black. It was Tyler Black was his name when he was out on Ring of Honor and stuff. So I'm thinking they're going to go back to that gimmick, that darkness, and add on to it, and he'll have one black contact. So it's not that the eye, maybe they'll make it look with the CG that it was hanging out, right? But he'll say they were able to put it back in, but it's never going to be the same. And when he removes the patch, because he's going to have a patch on, he's going to have a full black eye. The eyeball is just going to be all black. And he's like, this is me now. And that's going to add to the whole cult leader craziness and to sell it. And that's what I think is going to happen.
I like the Tyler Black. Let's bring that character back.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it. And he's already doing it with the whole darkness and all that stuff in the cult leader. And it just adds to it if he does that with the black contact. With one eye, so it's like shit.
It will look really cool, but how would that affect his performance, like his vision? And
it depends. Well, I know it's easier to see out of it because it's not like an all white contact. All white contacts, it's like putting cataracts in your eyes. It's covering. It's a sheet you can't see. It's very difficult. But in all black, there's still a hole for your pupil, but it's just dark around it, so you can't really tell. Because I remember that was the guy from Limp Bizkit talked about it because he had both of them in his eyes, and he said, no, it's fine. It's much better than if he had all white contacts. So it's like, all right, so it can be done. Yep. So that's my fantasy booking. Will they go that far with this? I don't know, but
I just want to say it would be very ironic for him to lose, since he was the one that started this whole thing with Rey Mysterio, throw him into the steel steps.
Yeah, and that came out of nowhere. Thing. That was very random. Very random. Think about it. He just bumped into him. He's like, you motherfucker. And he grabbed him, beat his ass, and punctured his eye. It's like, what did I just see? What happened? It almost looked like a shoot. It almost looked like a shoot. Like he was like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. And he just went and did this shit. It's like someone screaming, stop the fight, stop the fight. It's like this shit got real. But no, there goes that. So that's my fantasy. So I'm saying that Rey Mysterio wins, but Seth Rollins loses an eye. All right. So match number 4, another one that should have some cinematics in it. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt, and this is a Wyatt Swamp fight. Now, the thing with this, and I'll go first with this one just to get this out of the way. The thing that I hear with this is the standout for me is Wyatt. So I'm thinking that's the family, and so we are going to see someone else come back. And in my mind, I'm picturing they're bringing Sister Abigail. We're gonna see Sister Abigail. She's gonna come out of the swamp like a horror movie. And that's going to throw everything up into the air, and everyone's going to freak out because, yeah, is she dead? She's not dead. Remember, for a long time, and remember the original story was that he was supposed to be dressed up as her before he got sick. Right? Before all of this, he wound up catching some bumps or something. Remember, there was some measles or something. He caught something.
Mm-hmm.
And so he couldn't wrestle, but the match that he was built up to was that he was going to have an alter ego. He was going to have one of those things, and it was going to be Sister Abigail. But it didn't happen. So I'm thinking that maybe they will introduce Sister Abigail, and this is why they're calling it the Wyatt Swamp Fight, because it's not just Bray Wyatt. He's going to be fighting Sister Abigail Wyatt. I don't know. That's in my head. That's what's happening. It's going to be creepy because I just picture someone or something coming out of the swamp. It just makes sense if you're going to do it that way. He wants some monster or zombie or something to come out, and he says this is going to be on his land, right? And his house was burnt down. Wasn't it Randy Orton that did it?
Yeah.
Killed his sister stuff, and maybe she comes back to life or does something, and she's a zombie or like, and he's like, ah! I could see some craziness like that. So yeah, I'm going with Bray Wyatt. Now, this is not for the belt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the other thing people need
Correct.
to understand, because a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to drop the belt now. I'm like, where did you see mention of a belt? And there's 3 versions of Wyatt. You know, we have Bray Wyatt, that we see the new version, which is Bray. Then there's this cult version, and that's why he really emphasized with the outfit and everything. He's gone back to that version. And then we have the Fiend. The Fiend will be the one that wins, because he's unstoppable. That's Michael Myers right there. All right, so we know that's going to happen. But right now, they're not ready to do that. They're actually dragging this across, something that they should have did with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. They're dragging it, and that's fine. So now we're going to get this craziness. So I think for this one, this will be the rubber match. So I think Bray Wyatt is going to win this one. And then we'll go from there, and they'll figure out a way to introduce the Fiend. Or maybe the Fiend does show up. Maybe it's not even Abigail, and the Fiend shows up. So there's Bray Wyatt and the Fiend. You know, the Fiend is another part of him, and it's like, what's happening? Anything can fucking happen here in Swampland on the Wyatt. You know, anything. We got all kinds of crazy shit that can happen here. So, I don't know. I say Bray Wyatt wins. All right, so Dana, what do you got for this one? You think it's going to be a good one? What's up?
I'm actually excited for this one, and I'm the only one who feels that they're doing this match to sell that WWE Battlegrounds game, which has the alligator coming out of the swamp and killing John Cena.
Braun Strowman did talk about alligators, right? Didn't he bring that up
Yes,
again?
they
He
did. They talked about alligators, which furthers my belief this is to sell a video game. I don't know if this is going to involve a CGI alligator or what's going to go on with some voodoo. Again, this could be very fun. Mm-hmm. Remember, we kind of had a match that was supposed to be similar to what we've seen with Matt Hardy in the Lake of Reincarnation.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
That was a great one. So I do feel that this could be, something literally in the backyards, in a swamp, them fighting in the woods, and it ends up with the whole swamp. And maybe the loser gets eaten by an alligator. We got eye pluggage. Why not have alligator eaten? So in regards to who wins this, I feel that when it comes to these weird matches, that Bray is in his element. We saw that with the Firefly Funhouse match. We saw that with, I think that was.
But didn't he lose? Didn't Randy Orton kick his ass in that one?
No, John Cena disappeared.
No, I'm thinking of the other one when he actually had a house. Remember, there was a house, and Randy Orton threw a refrigerator on him, and he left him there. It's like, well, I guess I still get a kick out of seeing Randy Orton walk around in his shorts, in his little Speedos, in the dark. I'm like, really? Did you show up to a street fight like this? All right, whatever.
It was a weird time.
All right.
Well, remember, he was dressed as Sister Abigail. Everything was just really kind of weird when it came to that. I also know that there have been reports that we're going to see the 3 faces of Wyatt. So that should be very exciting too. We're going to get a little bit of that magical realism, which I like when they do just very nice sprinkles of when it comes to Bray Wyatt. So overall, I really feel that Bray would win. I don't know if Braun, where exactly they would go from that. Does it just mean that it's done and over with and he defeated his demons? I'm not really sure.
But you see Bray winning this.
I do see Bray winning this because when it's matches that's in his element, recently, not talking about previous botches, that this is something that he will win. And plus, it's his swamp.
Yeah.
So, yay.
There you go. Or he gets eaten by the alligator, and this is the last time we see this version of Bray Wyatt.
So then we just...
That's it.
That'd be the way to kill off the OG Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, they kill off the OG Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt. That's it.
But
He
that's
gets eaten by an
another
alligator.
thing. We don't know which Bray we're getting. We're not getting the Fiend, or
No,
are we
we're getting the cult version. The cult version. That's why he has the hat and everything. This is a cult version. It's that version that they've been advertising. So that's the version we're seeing here.
Huh.
So yeah.
I mean, when it came to his last match, he was Bray.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind. Yeah. But then if you kill off the Fiend, where do you go from there?
No, it's not the Fiend. Bray Wyatt gets killed off. The Fiend is we'll still have the Firefly Funhouse happy one, and then we'll have the Fiend. We just won't have the middle one, the old gimmick, the old cult. I mean, we're not going back to Husky Harris. I don't think they're going to bring that one.
Well, we got it the last time.
Yeah, we did. We did get it last time, but that's
yeah,
All right, so Ricky, what do you got for this one? Ricardo.
Yeah, I think the fact that the Swamp Fight is a non-title match makes me lean towards Bray Wyatt coming out on top here, and then having the non-title stipulation being what protects Braun Strowman, and then like I said, this would make it 1-1, and you could have the rubber match happen at SummerSlam where the Fiend would take the Universal belt off of Braun. In the meanwhile, because like if you have Braun just beat Bray Wyatt like twice in a row, just plowing through him, it's like, why are we having this matchup?
Yeah, what's the
point? You need to show that Bray Wyatt's a threat, and like, okay, you're gonna have this happen in a swamp fight. It's gonna be a mess and everything. It's not an actual in the ring thing, so you're gonna have to sell it in the ring, at the Performance Center. Not Boston, which makes me sad.
But I just realized, wait, how do you win this match?
I don't know.
It
doesn't say, no, that's not what it says. It doesn't say anything. It just says it's a wide fight. Swamp fight. It doesn't say. So, I mean, is there going to be a ref standing by and he's going to be ready to count a 3 count? Or is it one of those, if you just don't leave the swamp, then you lost? It's sort of like what happened with his house, where he had a fridge thrown on him and he wasn't moving in him, and he was like, well, I guess I won. And he walked out.
That was just weird.
That was weird. But I don't know. Well, so you agree. Bray Wyatt. You see Bray. So three of us see Bray. Rich, are you a Bray on this one?
Yeah, I have to say Bray Wyatt. There was a bit of in my opinion, they revealed a lot on SmackDown tonight when you had Braun Strowman cut this ridiculous over-the-top promo, which made me think he was taking lessons from Dolph Ziggler, which I'll get into later, where he basically said, I have to stop Bray Wyatt, otherwise I'll have to worry about The Fiend. So I am 100% certain that we're going to get The Fiend and Braun Strowman at SummerSlam, and The Fiend will win that match. But as for this match, because it is a non-title, I do agree with what Ricky said. You can't have Bray Wyatt lose back-to-back matches. Otherwise, you can't argue that he deserves a title match if he never beat Braun Strowman. So he has to win the match. So he can earn. Now he can say, I beat the champion. Now I deserve a title match. So yeah, Braun Strowman is going to lose on Sunday.
All right, I think we all agree on this one. That's so far the first one that we all agreed on. Yep, there goes.
Can I just say one quick thing, that they are advertising this as being one of the biggest cinematic experiences from WWE that you'll experience, and that they have hired Ellis Edwards, who is a stunt coordinator.
Oh.
So it's going to be a lot of big spots, a lot of big moments. So remember in the video game, we had helicopters, we had some goats, we had alligators. I don't know. I'm still going with the video game theme, but
That's it.
they're saying that there's going to be a lot of stunts and a lot of shocking moments.
Yep.
All
So
right.
that means that
Well, I was hyped before just because I'm curious to see how it do. And I'm even more so. So this is going to be one of my highlights. This one and the Eye versus Eye match. Those are the two that stand out that I want to see. All right. Match number 3. Bayley, who's the champ, women's champ, going against Nikki Cross, the contender, trying to win this women's champion. All right. I don't know. This one, I'm up in the air with this one. So, Richard, what do you got for this one? You interested? Do you see anything happening?
I want to say that I like Nikki Cross, but I really, and I'm okay with Bayley.
I don't think I mentioned SmackDown. This is the SmackDown's Women's Championship. I thought most people know that, but just so.
Right. Yeah, so I'm okay with Bayley. The heel run that she has been, the heel that she is now. I don't like how they have pretty much overused her and Sasha on every WWE show as of late, because I don't think you need to go to that extreme. But I guess this is what you do now, since Becky Lynch and Charlotte are not on TV wrestling right now. You got to still feature the other horsewomen more than everybody else, which I don't like. But I will say this. I still think eventually this whole storyline with Bayley ends with her feuding with Sasha. So Bayley is probably going to win this match, even though I like Nikki Cross and I wouldn't mind seeing Nikki Cross win the belt. It just doesn't feel like that's going to happen right now. So Bayley's going to retain.
Bayley retains. Dana, you see the same way? Bayley?
I see sadness overall. Because
okay, that sounds good.
The women's division used to be like really fun and exciting and not predictable in the same match 15,000 times.
Yep.
I really want Nikki Cross to win because I feel that she's the one who deserves it the most. However, there has been a huge discussion about Sasha Banks not being seen and allowed to wrestle as greatly as she can. We've saw Charlotte Flair basically come in and just overshadow everyone, and to the point where people are kind of tired of seeing her. People are saying, give Sasha a chance as well. But I feel that, yes, Sasha is the strongest of the opponents. I want to see Nikki do something other than just sit on a chair and talk with Alexa.
All right. So you see that. All right, Ricardo, do you see the same? Nikki Cross, you gonna... Because you said Bayley or Nikki Cross. You saying Nikki Cross wins? That's what you want to win, or you think she's gonna win?
I'm saying that I want her to win, but overall it's gonna just probably be boring Bayley.
All right, so you like to see Nikki, but you think Bayley. All right, Ricardo.
Yeah, I think Bayley retains. Remember that Nikki Cross is in a tag team with Alexa Bliss, and that makes her the Marty Jannetty of that tag team.
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far. Oh, come on.
I really felt
No. You never give it to the Marty Jannetty. So,
no, you can't. Well, you can't do that because if anything, she's always getting hurt. So Alexa Bliss is always injured. There's always some other things going on with her. And Nikki Cross, she's consistent. She's always there. So
don't get me wrong. I like Nikki Cross. It's just that I don't see Nikki Cross as established as she's a clear solo competitor. I still see her as a tag partner with Alexa, whether Alexa's on the sideline or not, until they split them up.
Yeah,
I see them as Alexa is the A to Nikki's B, and whereas with Bayley and Sasha, like right now Bayley's been the A because she's the champion and all that stuff, but they've been close. They're neck and neck as far as status and everything. It'll be and of course you got to remember that this is all leading up to Bayley defending against Sasha. Whether that happens at SummerSlam, whether that happens at Survivor Series, who knows? But Bayley needs to have the belt for that to happen, and so that's another reason why I see Bayley retaining.
All right, so then I'll just go on the other end because I see something similar to that, but I go with my fantasy booking. This is me sitting down again with the pen. Wait, I got a plan. So Nikki wins this one. It's a battle. She wins because what we'll get into with the next match, which is Asuka versus Sasha, and that's for the Raw Women's title. So I don't think they're both going to win these matches. One of them has to lose, and eventually the other one is going to get jealous, and that's what's going to lead to a match. Regardless if it's Bayley who's champion or if it's Sasha is a champion, someone is going to get bitter. They're going to get bitter, and then that's what's going to lead to it. I personally don't want to see it. I saw plenty of it before. We saw it in NXT. We saw it when they were both on Raw. Just tired of it. I put this in the same category up there with Owens and Sami Zayn. Don't need to see that shit anymore, because that was like every week we were seeing that. They were just going at it constantly, and I don't want to see that anymore. I'm done.
So one thing, I'm sorry. One thing that I was gonna, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the whole thing with Sasha and Bayley, I think part of the fatigue with that was that when they were on the main roster, they teased having them fight each other, and they never actually went through with it. Whereas you had it in NXT, and it was clearly, they were clearly rivals there. But when they were on the main roster, they're buddies, and every once in a while it's like, okay, well, one of them's going to turn on the other, and then it just doesn't happen. I think that's what we're tired of.
And the tricky part with this is that, and this is something that Vince doesn't like to do. Other promotions do it, but Vince doesn't like to do it. It would be a heel versus heel. He always likes to have a babyface. So if that's the case, who's the babyface? Who's turning on this one? I don't think Bayley is. Bayley's put in a lot of work and effort into getting her evil persona over, and I think it's working. So she's going to stay. And does that mean Sasha turns babyface? I think she does an amazing job as a heel. I don't need to see her crying and saying this is a memorable moment in my life. So I don't like that. I don't like she plays better as a heel.
Well, with all due respect, whenever that match happens, I still expect them to cry. During and after the match.
All right. Well, so, slow down with the tears. All right. So for my prediction, I just say Nikki, because then I'm just gonna spin off into the next one. But yeah, I say Nikki Cross wins this. Boom. Bayley's flipping out. She's in the back. She's screaming the whole thing, going nuts. Sasha's like, "You're gonna be out there for my match." She's like, I need time to think. I'm just flipping out. I'm okay. Boom. Next match number 2, Asuka, Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. They start going at it. Some shit goes down. Sasha ends up winning. Sucks. I want Asuka to be the champ for the next 3 years. I want her to do what she did in NXT. She had the longest title reign there. She's in the history books already with that. Remember, never lost it. She gave up the belt when she moved up. So I see Sasha winning this. She goes to the back. She's like, "Where were you?" Bayley said, "Where were you? What do you mean? This is my shit. I lost. I'm just pissed off." "Well, you should have been there for me. You should have supported me. Now look, I got the belt. Listen, you know what? F you." And they start fighting it out. There you go. Start the feud. So that's my prediction. Sasha wins. All right, Dana, what you got?
Between Sasha, so it's Sasha and
it's Asuka. Asuka's the champ. Yep.
So Asuka, I'm gonna have to agree with you with the whole thing with Asuka, because remember, she got screwed with the whole SummerSlam, and that's when Ronda Rousey came and just overshadowed everything. And she technically didn't even win the belt. Now she was just giving it to because of Becky and the pregnancy. And I think that we really need to see Asuka go out there, retain, shine, and probably you keep retaining for a while. I know Shayna. So here's the thing. Shayna is involved. She's back. She came back. And I feel that Shayna, you remember she did the whole call out to the women's division. She could easily come in and try to interfere.
But if she does that shit, that makes this a DQ match. And that sucks for a pay-per-view event. I hate those. That's the last thing I want to see. I don't want to see, the disqualification. She came in and she beat both their asses. Whatever. We saw her dominance in the Elimination Chamber. We know she can kick ass. We saw it in NXT. We don't need her to come and squash this one. But you know what? It's Vince's world, so it could happen. So who do you have winning this one then?
That is it. Can I get to the story eventually?
Oh shit! I don't know. I thought you got that. You were like, "Oh yeah, Asuka."
No,
so, you gonna flip it? You gonna flip? Here we go. Here we go. I'm
going to say that Asuka is going to retain, but Shayna, I don't know if she gets involved physically or she does that whole stare down thing, but she is gonna be involved.
All right. So maybe you think she shows up after while one of them is celebrating.
You could show up after and do the whole Ronda Rousey thing.
See, and it only makes sense though because at least if Asuka wins, because Asuka is the babyface. If Sasha Banks wins, it doesn't make sense for her to come out and do that because then it's forcing the fans to support one or the other. And I support Baszler, but she's a heel. She's a heel, and in WWE land, no, it doesn't work that way. It's heel, face, heel, face, heel, face. Just how it works. You know, it's very rare that you get the middle ground like a Steve Austin situation. Plenty of people have tried to hit that middle ground, and it just never catches on. Mm-hmm. So there goes that. All right, Rich, what do you think?
Okay, real quick. Asuka is going to win. The reason why I say that is because for the past 2 Raws, Asuka has been in matches with Sasha Banks and Bayley and has lost. Therefore, there's no way in hell she's going to lose again. And you had Sasha go over those 2 times.
That's what you're going on? All right.
Because Asuka hasn't won any of these matches yet. You know, she lost the match with Kairi Sane this past week on Raw, and then the week before that, she lost the match. I believe it was against Bayley due to Sasha getting involved in that match. So you can't have you can't have Asuka losing all of these matches, especially a title match. And to go to what Dana's point said about Shayna Baszler, yeah, she's back on TV now. I think it's very clear and obvious that is the opponent that they're getting ready for her to face next. So Asuka, there's no way Asuka doesn't retain the belt. And let me just throw in this really quick fantasy booking. I like what you said about Sasha winning and Bayley, flipping out. But I actually think it's going to be the opposite for the simple reason that you got to understand when Sasha made this decision to go against Asuka, they once again faked out the fans because Bayley was in the ring saying, "I beat everybody." And then that was when Sasha approached her and said, "Well, wait a second. I want a title match." And then she said, "Against Asuka." So I imagine what's going to happen is after Sasha loses this match, it's going to once again come up. The Bayley's going to say, "I've beaten everybody on SmackDown. There's no one else for me to face." That is when Sasha is going to go after her because Sasha is going to feel a type of way about the fact that she lost. So she's not 2-belt Sasha, but Bayley is a 2 double champion. So, yeah, I kind of feel like this is where it definitely begins. But Sasha's not winning that belt. With all due respect.
All right. Yeah, that's possible.
Not the Raw belt.
All right.
Yeah.
Ricardo?
Yeah. So I also agree with Rich that Asuka's going to retain. I think it's going to be the well, for one thing, I'm going to say I don't think that we're going to see Shayna on this. I don't think we won't see her until the following Raw.
Yeah.
When she'll reveal herself as the next opponent for Asuka. But the dynamic to remember with Bayley and Sasha Banks is that, so yes, they're both tag champions. Bayley's the only double champion in that, and deep down she doesn't want Sasha to be a double champion also, because that allows Bayley to stand out from Sasha. Here's what I suspect will happen. Bayley goes against Nikki Cross. Sasha will help out Bayley, as she always has. But when it comes to Asuka against Sasha Banks, either Bayley's not going to help out, or she'll make a half-hearted attempt to help, but not really do so, because maybe Kairi Sane comes out or something. And Sasha's going to lose, and then it's going to be like, well, Sasha went and helped out Bayley, but Bayley didn't really help Sasha. And that's going to continue that rift. And Bayley's going to continue to be talking about how she's double champion and the best and everything like that. And eventually, Sasha's going to be serious about challenging Bayley. So that's where I think that's all going to go. So yeah, Asuka.
I like that.
That could work too. All right. Either way, I think it's going to be fun. Just a storyline, just to see where it goes for all these different angles. There's a lot of angles here. Because that Asuka and Baszler, that's a build-up. That's a Mania match right there, I think. Just because of their dominance in NXT. There's a lot of footage, a lot of packages they can put together and showing, hey, they were both super champs pretty much back in NXT. So let's see how it works out on the main stage, as WWE likes to call it, the main stage. I don't get that. All right, this is it. Main event. Supposedly the best match on the card. I don't think so. But we'll see. Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. And it still says to be determined the max stipulation. I thought they determined that on Raw. That wasn't determined? Or he still Dolph still hasn't said his piece. I don't know why in my mind. It was a TLC match.
There was a advertisement poster that leaked that said it's going to be a TLC match. Dolph Ziggler said he's not going to reveal the stipulation until the actual pay-per-view, but that teaser came out a while ago.
That's probably why I was assuming. I was like, oh wait, all these reports are wrong. It's a TLC match. But I mean that's one of those things. It reminds you of something WCW used to do that all the time. It's like, oh, we got something planned. Get ready. You got to tune in and watch it. And this is one of them. It's like, we don't know. We don't know. It could be anything. Is it going to be something super crazy? Is it going to be a Buried Alive match? That would be awesome. Inferno match. Bring that shit out of the fucking backyard. But no, it'll probably be something like that. A chair match or TLC match. In fact, I don't think they do chair matches anymore. I think they just go TLC. Remember when they tried to do that with the steps? Table ladders? That was so bad.
Remember when they had it hanging?
Yeah.
They had it hanging?
Remember they did like the design and they had the tables dangling from the...
Oh, yes. You know what else I miss? And it was a similar one that Raven did. I forgot. I think it was called a Monster's Ball. But then Dean Ambrose did something like that where it's a cage, but he had a bunch of weapons tied up at the top. The asylum match. Yeah, that would be fun. And I know Drew sort of hinted on Raw. He's like, a cage match or something. I was like, there you go. TLC in a cage. Combine the two. That would be fun. A lot of variables there. But once you add a ladder... And then both of these wrestlers, they're not known for doing a lot of spots with ladders. So I don't know. But maybe it won't play a bigger part. But, all right, who wants to go first with this? This is open. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first.
All right, you go first.
I'll go second.
All right.
So for the hell of it, let's make this stipulation. We have an eye for an eye match. Let's make this a guillotine match where the loser has their head chopped off.
Whoa. That's
it's
a whole different
show.
show. That is a horror show. It happened. Another fantasy booking. There we go. Oh, shit. Based off of just what you just said. Boom. Drew McIntyre gets his head decapitated. There's like all this blood squirting and everything. And then all of a sudden, he wakes up. And he never went to the show. He overslept. Boom. This match never happened. That's the horror show. The horror show, he had a nightmare.
That'd be a terrible swerve for everyone.
There you go. It'll
probably be a TLC in a cage.
That's a Lucha Underground type match right there, because they're the only ones that could have been able to pull that type of shit off.
Have Dario Cueto show up.
It's
a nightmare. But, Drew McIntyre's entertaining.
Yeah, right. It just
don't know what the stipulation is. Maybe it'll be a cage match. Maybe it'll be TLC. Maybe it'll be both. Whatever it is.
Lumberjack.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, I can't see a lumberjack. Not with unless everyone's wearing a mask. Rich? Drew?
All right, let me start off by saying I will give WWE just a small bit of credit for making this a match because of the fact that they were able to go back to the whole story of when Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre teamed up, when he brought Drew McIntyre to the main roster. So that's good. And that is about the only credit that I'm going to give them, because they have told the story consistently. They have told this very consistent storyline that Dolph Ziggler just loses every single match. You mentioned earlier, Adam, they brought him back and gave him a match against Kofi Kingston for the title. Did anyone actually believe that they would let Dolph Ziggler win the belt? No. So why would they think all of a sudden, he has an excellent chance of beating Drew McIntyre? No way in hell is that happening.
Then the Goldberg thing, remember? That whole...
Oh, yeah, Goldberg, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, once again, when you... And we'll get into this, I'm pretty sure, when we talk a little bit later. But when you build up a wrestler and you have them constantly lose, you suspend you take the what's the correct word?
You suspended the belief, the what if factor that he could win. That's out the window because you're like, he's never going to win.
Yeah, because he's lost so many matches, and then also to go to the point that you made earlier tonight, because I said I was going to come back to this when you said, yeah, but Dolph Ziggler will remain at the top of the card. I disagree 100% with that, because what's going to happen after Drew McIntyre beats him, he's going to get his match against Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and Randy Orton is going to be his opponent because he has said in multiple interviews, if there's anybody that he could face at SummerSlam, who would it be? He said Randy Orton. And Randy Orton is about to beat up the Big Show on Raw this upcoming week.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that
Dolph Big Show.
Yeah, no, but that doesn't mean Dolph Ziggler's going to get knocked down. I'm just hoping that not for the title, but at least a main eventer that he's in with the big boys again. That's what I was trying to say. That I'm tired of him dropping back down to just doing mid card shit, and then out of nowhere he gets these type of title shots.
Oh yeah, he'll probably get a couple of matches with Mr. Black.
Black,
yeah, he'll probably get a couple of matches with him, and maybe he'll get a title match with Apollo Crews. Ricochet. Well, Ricochet is not a main event star anymore either.
I think, well, we talked a little bit about that 365, man.
Yeah.
They said on the network, I mean, there's like 10 people that are still watching the network, but those 10, they all watch that 365 for Ricochet. It's number 2 on their watch list, and I hope that just sends a signal to WWE to like, hey, people want him, they want to see him. Let's open up. We all knew it. All right, well, we're straying. All right, keep going.
Oh no, you're good. No, I just was gonna say this, and then you and Dana can give your thoughts in regards to that Ricochet special. And if you've seen it, I don't know if y'all saw it, but the one part about that special that I laughed, Ricochet, they had this whole montage. He said, yes, I started doing great things, and I was in the Royal Rumble, and they showed all the stuff, all the good stuff happening to Ricochet. Then all of a sudden, you talk about the Royal Rumble moment and the fact that he helped Brock Lesnar. And then right away, we see the scene of Drew McIntyre throwing him out. As soon as I saw that, I thought to myself, this is how Vince looks at the big guys on the roster. They are the stars. Mm-hmm. So this is a fair representation of what happens to people like Ricochet thrown to the side, and it's about the big guys for Vince. So I laughed when I saw that, because that is exactly the image that I had. And I'm pretty sure when they filmed that, the person who filmed that thought the same thing. That's why they filmed it that way.
Not even that. Not even that. I mean, even before Roman Reigns, with Finn Balor in the ring, and what they wrote for Roman Reigns to say, look at you and look at me. You're a little man.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Once you said, I knew that was fucking Vince. And that's been the whole motto for WWE. Big man land. They rule. Everyone else is just supporting cast to make them look good. That's it. Mm-hmm. All right, Dana. What do you got for this one?
In regards to this, I don't know, honestly.
What? You saw Dolph Ziggler? You could actually see him winning this?
You just went with Dolph Ziggler.
All right, so if he wins, where does he go? Just answer that then.
Love him or hate him. Love him or hate him, Dolph Ziggler is a company man.
I know. That's the whole reason why he's thrown into a title shot when he didn't deserve it. Think about that. He always gets these spots though. He always, and it's because he's a company man. Whenever they don't have, he's the filler. Whenever they don't have something set up and they need a top guy who knows how to work and how to sell a promo and just sell a match, that's when they call on him. That's why he's doing all these little matches here and there and put in these weird spots that make no damn sense.
Well, I will say this, and I want Dana to continue her thought. This feud makes a ton more sense than when they threw him in a feud with Kofi Kingston, because he actually has a history with Drew McIntyre. So this makes 100% credible sense that he can be an opponent. But as someone who could beat Drew McIntyre is no way in hell, Jack. But yes, continue.
That should have been me.
All right, Dana.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, great, wonderful. Like I said, so Dolph Ziggler is I know that they're eventually trying to get Drew McIntyre to give up the belt so he can go to your Bobby Lashley. I do feel that Dolph Ziggler is a company man, and this match is a way of saying thank you. I do feel though that because he is with the company for so darn long, he does deserve a title. Not necessarily, you could argue champion just because he's been with the company for 80 years. But I feel in regards to this whole match,
that it is going to be Drew McIntyre only because of the potential of him facing Bobby Lashley. And we already know that SummerSlam plans are completely up in the air. So it could be a weird twist where Dolph Ziggler does win. But I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre.
So you didn't think that Kevin Owens would get tossed into the mix at all?
Kevin Owens could get tossed in the mix easily, but it's still going to be Drew winning.
Yeah, it'll be Drew winning. All right, so my turn. I don't know if too much about how. I think no one knows. Heath Slater, what's his situation?
He's done with WWE.
He's like his Slammiversary,
yeah.
And that's also this weekend, right?
Yeah, that's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night. All right, so there is a possibility that he can still do an appearance. He could go one show, because it's still in the States, isn't it?
No,
he can't.
It was one shot. He's with Slammer. He's with TNA. He's signed his contract.
So he signed a contract. So it's not one of these, because we're hearing all these reports of multiple wrestlers that have been released showing up. Doesn't mean they're all given contracts. Some of them, I'm sure, are going to just get paid for the appearance,
right?
Just to help sell whatever story that they're trying to push out.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, okay. So if that's the case, then yeah, just Drew. This will be a good match. It'll be crazy because of the gimmick, and I think that's probably why they added the gimmick, because they're like, no one sees Dolph winning this. So like, all right, well, we got to give some kind of gimmick match. Or what is it? I don't know. When are we going to announce it? Tell them the day of. That's it. We'll keep them lingered. It's like, hey, the day of. That's when you'll find out. And then, yeah, a lot of people will tune in for that, just to find out what happens. So, but that's just to get people to watch, because honestly, no one sees Dolph winning this. It doesn't work for the company. It doesn't work for the storylines that are currently going on. Because, yeah, if Dolph wins, where do you go from there? What's going to happen? Because everybody at the top right now, they're all heels. The only babyface they have is Drew. Unless you bring up Kevin Owens. I mean, he's there and he's doing his own thing, but you have to throw him in there. And then, of course, like we said, Randy Orton, it looks like they're grooming him to do that big thing with Mac. And if that's the case, that would be pointless if he loses. Because then what? It's going to be him versus Dolph. And again, WWE don't do the whole heel versus heel. That's not what they go for. So, yeah, it kind of says womp womp. That's the main event, But whatever. We have some other good matches on this card. It's going to be fun. And that was it, everybody. That is the horror show at Extreme Rules. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody gets the chance to watch it and have some fun. Because that's what we need right now. Just to get sidetracked and watch some mindless wrestling. It's always entertaining. So again, I am your host, Adam Vale. What? Oh, you got something to say?
Well, hold on a second. Do you want to comment now? One final comment on this Brian Cage AEW situation.
Oh boy, here we go.
That it was wonderful.
Here we go.
John Moxley is a draw.
This is pure bullshit. This is very much the way TNA went down their road when they would bring in former WWE talent. They put them on this high horse and they ride them off into the sunset. And that's what's going on here, and it's disgusting because you're feeding quality guys. Here it is, you're building up this guy. Cage should be a monster. He comes in, you give him a mic piece like Taz. Taz is selling his ass off with these promos. And then you see this shit where he throws in the towel. Is that supposed to be any better than him actually tapping that his manager had to throw in the towel? No, he was still getting beat. That is bullshit. They should have had it where, if anything, he just beats the shit out of him and breaks a rule. And yeah, you go to DQ route, but damn, he kicked his ass. Show him being dominant. He did not look dominant. This looked like a regular match. It looked like Mox was just wrestling one of the boys in the back. This is not the monster. This was not the destroyer that Taz was hyping. We didn't see that.
Wait a second. But wait a second, Adam. You're missing one of the most important parts of all of this. Brian Cage is the FTW champion, so therefore he's fine.
No, yeah, exactly. A title that, again, he holds it, but they don't say anything about a title defense. They don't say anything about where it stands in the ranking of titles. It's nothing. It's like wearing a Rusev trophy, a medal.
Well,
That's all it is.
Didn't he have a title defense on AEW Dark?
For the FTW?
Yes, against Brian Pillman Jr., who was amazing.
Yeah.
For the FTW, so he did. So they did. All right, I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be defending it because we had talked about it before that once they announced his belt, we all saw him losing. We're like, this is it. He's going to lose. This is how they're going to still make him look strong. But then to see the outcome of throwing in the towel, holy shit! Stop the fight! Stop the fight! No, I don't want to see that shit. I wanted to see something else. I wanted to see a dominance performance, and maybe he does something that breaks the rules, or he was cheating and he gets busted for cheating, that type of thing. But still, kick ass, look strong. He did not look strong in this. He did not. He looks like a regular guy in the back. This looked like if Moxie was just going against Darby Allin or anybody else, and that's bullshit. He should have been tossed around like a rag doll, and then out of nowhere came. Nothing tops when we all talked about it, the birth of Suplex City, when Brock Lesnar went against Cena, and we saw, all right, he's going to get his head. No one predicted that he was going to be tossing Cena around like that. And when that shit happened, and then he pinned him, and he won, mouths dropped, because they're like, holy shit, the Golden Boy got big slapped. This is crazy. And this is what I was hoping. I was hoping to see something. Right now, I'm not looking forward to a rematch of this. I'm not looking forward to anything because Cage didn't show his dominance. He didn't show this machine that he is. I didn't see it. Machines don't break down like this. Machines don't have trouble like he did. Fuck that. This is bullshit booking. Bullshit booking. If this was the case, if this is what you're going to have him do, then you could have had him go against a bunch of other guys and build to this. He just showed up. He hasn't even made a name for himself in regards to Cage. A name for himself in AEW. And already he lost to the top guy. Now, remember, they follow their whole card rule with the win losses and draw system. You throw that motherfucker at the bottom of the pile now. Because he had his shot and he lost.
Oh, he's not going to the bottom of the pile.
No, they of course they can say he's not because he has a title. That's what keeps him afloat. That's the life raft. He's a title holder.
Well, yeah, he has unfinished business with Darby Allin, so I'm pretty sure that'll be a title match.
Please, yeah.
And then after that, he's going to get another shot at that.
When they threw that in, I again disgusted. I was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. The Machine, really? This is it? Because you know Darby's going to have to get his comeuppance, right? We know it from the way he was treated in that match that they had. So, what, he's going to get the win? You really? This is what you're going to do when you bring in a fucking machine? Come on now. You know what? If that's the case, Cage, you should have went to WWE. You would have had a better shot at developing and selling some fucking merch. Because right now, this is not helping. This is not helping. They should have built him up. Hell, they did it with what's his name? The Hawk dude, Archer. Same thing. They had him go through the whole tournament, dominate, kick ass. Goes against Cody, boom, lost. It's over. They're out of the picture. Next. Fucking, and no one gives a shit. The guy had a mouthpiece. He had Jake the Snake, and now it's nothing. It just diminishes. That's why I hate when people they put AEW as if it's like the second coming of wrestling. Like, really? I don't see it. I wish it was. Yeah, excuse you is right. Because you know it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Keep those feuds going. That should have been a continued feud. Those two should still be going at it now. No, we didn't get that. We got Sonny Kiss. You know, this is bullshit.
Oh.
Yes. That's a lot of salt right there.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed off. That's it. I'm very pissed off. I wanted to see that feud go. They hyped these guys up. They hyped Archer up. They did all this stuff. Remember, they had him throwing fucking what's his name from Lucha Express, the Jurassic Express. Oh, fucking
Marco Stunt.
They had him throw him over the guardrail. That is very dangerous. We've seen that. We saw that over at ECW when it happened with Spike Dudley. That can go wrong real quick. Okay, real quick. And still, you have him dominate and show the strength. And he did the same thing when he was beating up on Colt Cabana and also. And poof, he loses. Okay, well, let's keep this feud going. He's a top guy, right? You brought him in as a top guy. Wrong.
Yeah.
Not even involved in shit. And that's my fear. And then we see Cage, and this is fucking throwing the towel. Really? I would have preferred a DQ than a fucking throwing the towel.
No. You are miserable and salty.
Miserable?
No.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
You are literally the whole get off my yard.
Well, it's my time, and I'm gonna get on my last part, my last gripe, and that just recently happened with the demo god, the whole bullshit. And I see why he's doing it, and he's doing it because he's doing what's best for business, and this is best for business for both of them to get some kind of rivalry, to get those casuals, because that's one thing that they're missing, and that's one thing that WCW and WWE had, that rivalry. Those casual fans that didn't give two shits about wrestling, but still wanted to see what was happening and like the bickering back and forth, those are the ones that tuned in. Those are the ones that are not tuning in now. As much as people are like, oh look, they're dominating in the demo or dominating rating, both of their ratings are fucking low. They're not hitting the millions. That's disgusting. Because WCW, WWE at the time, remember 4.5, 4.3. You know what I mean? That's millions of people. We're not even breaking a million for either show. So they're both low. These are two low card guys fighting it out.
Well,
but it's great that Jericho is doing this, hyping this up, the demo guy. He's setting the spark. That spark will carry on. People will say, oh, they're doing the ratings war. They're acknowledging the ratings. Yeah, okay. So now I want to tune in. I want to see how this is playing out. Now is NXT going to go? I think it'd be smart if WWE bite on this and say, you know what? We see what you're doing. This is going to work out for all of us. Is no different than like in the UFC when you get these guys, they don't really hate each other. It's a fight. It's a business. But then one guy spits in another guy's face. One guy calls the other guy's wife fat and ugly or something, and he pushes. Oh shit! Now you made it personal. Making it personal brings that attachment, and people get invested. And I think that's what Jericho's trying to do here. He's like, you know what? Let's try to make this personal. We throw little short jabs here and there, but we don't really go direct. This is a direct. You know, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to bring the attention. Hopefully, the people that stopped watching wrestling will come back and say, you know what? I do miss that WCW, WWE shit that was going on. Is that sort of happening now? Well, at least on one end, it is.
Let me just make a quick comment. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Ricky and Dana have something else to say, but let me just make a quick comment. When Triple H had the comment about it's not a marathon, it's a sprint. I wonder if we can still say that for NXT, because NXT has been very lackluster as of late. Like all of the talent that NXT has, and if you look at, like for example, you take this week, they had Keith Lee defending both of those belts against Dominik Dijakovic, someone who has lost to Keith Lee time after time after time. So obviously he's not going to win. We know this. And then you have Io had her match later on with Tegan Nox that she beat her. Obviously that was going to happen, and then she gets attacked by Dakota Kai at the end. So yeah, because I figured Dakota Kai was the next person that was going to have her face. So that's fine. But if you think about that, there was no other highlight whatsoever on NXT. The mid card is just they have so much talent, but they're not doing nothing with these people. They don't have them. Johnny Gargano had a match with Swerve Scott last week. That was an okay match. But it's just like I don't feel, and then Finn Balor's been off TV since they had that triple threat match. So I don't think that Triple H is really putting on a good show every single week. It like Timothy Thatcher going against a jobber. Who the hell wants to watch that? Timothy Thatcher is great, but put this guy in an actual feud with a character, another person. I don't know, maybe a Damian Priest or somebody. I mean, come on, guys. They have people that they can make better use of. They're just not doing it. So go ahead. That's all I was going to say.
Well, that's it. Well, they trying. We'll see. Well, that was a little bit of our shit because we had to get in our soapboxes because there was a lot of bullshit that happened.
Hold on.
Richie, everybody got something to say? I didn't know.
Dana and Ricky got something else to say.
I didn't know. I thought it was just
First of all, Adam is miserable, and I'm sorry that you're going through this. But the Fight for Fallen with the Brian Cage and John Moxley and Taz was lovely. Okay, first of all, thank you. He was lovely because of the fact that you had Taz throw in the towel. This protected Brian Cage.
Nope.
Okay, this is like I never gave up. I'm still better than you.
That's not how he played it out at the end. You saw his reaction. He was like, all right, cool with it. That was it. And then they moved it on.
We'll address that in a second. Go ahead,
Dana.
No.
Nope.
He was not cool with it.
Nope.
Thank you.
We got Darby Allin now. Nope.
He was not cool with it. He went after him again, but Darby Allin came. Now, the only thing that was the problem with that, you would for 8 hours, let me go at least for 1 minute. Okay. The thing with Darby Allin was that you saw Brian Cage was trying to go after Moxley, but Darby Allin was executed poorly because the timing was off. Darby Allin came and kind of interrupted that whole situation, which distracted him from getting back at Moxley, which allowed Moxley to go and escape and be Moxley. So it worked in that way. So you have a feud that's ongoing. With one, you have him trying to get to Moxley. That's one thing. And then you have Darby Allin coming in to get revenge. This creates a really nice setup and a nice dynamic. Now, you have Brian Cage.
Where do you see that? Explain. Where do you see this night dynamic? Who wins? Darby Allin's going to go over Cage? Cage is going to lose it? Or Cage goes and he kicks Darby Allin's ass? No one wins from that.
FTW champ. And it shows his strength by having two people trying to go after him. And he still, remember, he didn't throw in a towel. It was Taz who was all like, oh my God. So no.
Nope.
Also, on top of that, if you watch the match, it shows continuity. Remember beforehand, Brian Cage injured his arm, and it showed throughout. This was throughout the weeks. Brian, what's his face? Moxley, he kept working on that arm. Continuity is something that WWE does not have.
Don't care about them either. I'm saying I didn't like how they treated Cage. It has nothing to do about WWE. I don't like how they're treating Cage.
They treated Cage perfectly fine.
No, they didn't. Don't have him in this. My point is, Cage should have never been in this match to begin with. Keep building him. Right now, if you're a fan, I don't know how many of these fans they have, but if you're a fan that does not know who he is, he just looks like a former WWE reject because he's big and buff. Yes, he does. Because I know people that were not big on him because they didn't know him, and they said, "Who's this Ward guy they just brought in?" I thought they were staying away from these type of people. I'm like, no, you don't know Cage. Cage can go. He can really move. He does have that muscly look that WWE usually go for. So I can understand why the people that don't know him, that don't watch all the other promotions from Lucha Underground and Impact and all that shit, they don't know. And then you just throw him in, and here it is. This happens. Oh, Taz had to throw in a towel. He was going to tap anyway. So
he wasn't going to tap.
Oh, who's to say? You don't know that. You don't know that.
Oh my God.
You don't know that. They do. That's the whole point of throwing in the towel.
Oh my God. He did not. No.
That's it. That's it. Your time is up. All right, now it's Ricky. There you go. It's Ricky. We gotta end this. It's 5 hours in. We never do this. We're trying to keep this short.
Okay, so here's something that Brian Cage said on Twitter earlier today. He said, "It's been a rough couple of days, and Taz and I have gone back and forth. I've considered relieving him of his duties and wanted to immediately after the match. I'll wait and see how I feel after the weekend. Regardless, I never tapped. I wasn't going to tap. I only need one arm to drop Mox on his head. I technically may no longer be undefeated, but I'm still unbeaten. And more importantly, the answer to the question, who better than Cage, is still nobody."
Of course. He can say whatever he wants, but it doesn't matter. Because it's still the what if factor. It's still the what if factor. You can't do that.
So
it's like,
I'm gonna agree with you, Adam, on one thing and something that we discussed last week, that I thought it was too soon, that unless you were gonna put that belt on Cage, that it's too soon to put him in this match, because he's someone that you definitely want to build up as a threat for the title. He made his debut winning that match, that ladder match.
Yeah.
You know, to get the title defense.
Yeah, their version of Money in the Bank. Yeah,
they should have had him hold it until the right time. They went too quickly with this. So I thought that by him having this match this soon, it's like, okay, so they seem to be very confident in him. Maybe they're gonna have him win it, and that's why I felt that he was going to win it. When he didn't, he lost in a very protected way, and I know you don't like it, but the fact that Taz threw in the towel, was not Cage. Cage did not give up. He did not submit. He was not pinned, And I will disagree with you, Adam, that Cage actually whipped Mox's ass for a good portion of the match. I don't know if you remember that spot on the outside of the ring where he suplexed Mox onto the guard.
Yeah. I saw it, and it's still, it didn't do anything. I wanted to see Mox crawling. I wanted to see if he won, he was crawling to the fucking back to make it look like it was a war. Like, holy shit, this was the toughest son of a bitch that I fought here. One thing I've noticed with AEW, it's sad to say, but it reminds you of when you watch a TV show that's like the first season is fucking awesome, and then the second season it's like, wait, what's happening? Oh, because we didn't think that far. We thought of the first season. First season, which is what I'm considering with AEW, they had all these big storylines. We saw with Kenny Omega where he was losing all his matches and trying to get that form. And they're like, man, this isn't like him. This isn't the New Japan Kenny Omega. He's really lost something. He's got to get that groove back. We saw it with Cody Rhodes where he was winning matches, but then he couldn't win the big one. He said, hey, if I can't win this, I won't compete again. And he lost it. Holy shit, what's happening? We saw with the Young Bucks where they were doing a tournament, the tag, and they got eliminated. Like, holy shit, what is happening? It was throwing curveballs. And then it's like, all right, this is good. This means you're going to build up the younger ones, the unknowns. I see where you're going. This is beautiful. And then they're like, tap, tap, middle fingers. That was bullshit. Lance Archer, you're down. Boom. Okay, Cage, you're down. They're not dragging these. They're not building those same stories that we saw. We're not seeing it. Like you said, it was too fast for Cage to get in this spot. Cage should have built his way up, had some really good feuds, and then have the audience all back behind him. Like, yeah, he's believable. I think he could fucking win right now. I think he can do it. No, that didn't happen. Same thing with Archer. You give him a mouthpiece with Jake the Snake. You build him up as a monster. He's tossing people around. He's looking super strong. Then all of a sudden, poof, he's gone. He's gone. He loses Cody, and now it's like it doesn't fucking matter anymore. This is bullshit.
But those two are not mutually exclusive. As far as Lance Archer's booking and Brian Cage's booking, they're not. It's not the same thing. Brian Cage has a freaking belt. It could be unofficial.
But all right, so what's the stipulations for this belt? What is this belt? Like, because
we're still learning about it. Like, it was just introduced.
No, but he said he had a match. So what was it? Was it just a regular match?
It was a brilliant and lovely match.
What was it? A regular match?
It was a dark match.
No, I know, but it's just a singles match. Is what I'm saying. Did they have like?
It was a singles match for the belt. And it was nitty and gritty and wonderful.
You know, I mean, from what I understand, and maybe we should have covered Slammiversary, Sabu is still over there. Sabu is the only other person that's won that belt. So, bring in Sabu and have him kick his ass. That's what I want. All right, we've gone long. All right, so there you go, people. Usually we don't do that. We just go through the three, and then we do the predictions and the rundown, but man, we had some issues. As you see, we had some words. That there was a lot going on with AEW doing these pretty much three pay-per-views on TV back to back. You know. All right. Well, we will see you for the next one. What's the next one? I'm already lost on that.
Slammiversary, and then you have
Slammiversary is tomorrow.
Exactly. No. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. No. All right. So.
The next one, WWE event?
Yeah, is it a WWE or it's because that's the other thing. Ring of Honor is not doing shit. So, and AEW they already spewed out 3 of them. So I guess
I think SummerSlam is the next event.
SummerSlam is the big one.
It was supposed to be Takeover, but that's not happening.
That's it. There's no Takeover, the UK Takeover and all that stuff. Yeah, they got some other issues. All right, peoples. All right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following us. Again, if you're on YouTube and all that, we're on Spotify now and iTunes. We had some other stuff going on with iTunes, so it should be there too. But yeah, go ahead, follow it. I'm doing all the updates. I'm getting everything transferred over. It's a lot of steps and behind-the-scenes stuff. But it's good. Join in. And again, I was your host, Adam Vale, Associate Editor over at the Koalition. Richard Bailey Jr., the Editor-in-Chief. We got one of the other contributors and writers, Ricardo Negron, and then the Entertainment Editor, Dana Abercrombie.
Yay.
There you go. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy wrestling. Peace.